Started. Welcome back to Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. Last we left off, we are in investigation for the murder of Shihiro. I forget her last name, but that is who we are currently for Fukusaki or some shit like that. It is yeah. Shihiro Fukusaki. She is now dead. She got murdered. Murdered. Hello there. I actually don't totally remember what I was doing. Hey, Bayaka, do you think you could ask her? Come out of her room, I mean.
That's fine.
You're currently watching muted. Dang. Sure, whatever. Huh? You're gonna talk to her, Bayaka? Wow, I guess you can be nice when you want to. Bayaka stood in front of her door, not making a sound. Pressed the doorbell. Ding dong. Cannot hear until my family gets to bed. After a few moments.
What do you want?
Leave me alone! You're also so annoying. Ah! Back you up!
Yakuya.
I'm sorry, I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again. And with that, the door slammed shut. Even Bayaka couldn't pull it off. There's nothing else we can do. Let's get back to the investigation. Hold on! Hey Bayaka, what was Toko talking about just now? Something about a promise?
What?
I mean, I know, yeah, true. Oh, I have an idea. Another one of her delusions, I'm sure. But
Stop talking.
if I say I don't care, that means I don't know. Just know. Oops. One moment. I could tell you who the killer is now. Oh yeah, okay. I'll just stay here and keep an eye on her.
Let's go.
Well then, let's go. Without waiting for a reply, Bayaka sped away. Bye-bye, Bayaka! As I hurried to catch up. I hurried to catch up. I tried to talk to him several times as we walked, but he didn't even look back, let alone say anything. He just kept on walking towards his destination. Finally, his feet brought him to a stop in front of a certain room. The library? Come on, let's go in. Is the evidence that proves it was Genocide Jack really in the library?
Make me repeat myself.
Don't make me say it again. Grassy moment, oh my lord. I'm sorry I didn't see, there's
Don't
evidence
make me
really in the
repeat.
library. Let me say it again. Assuming it's in this room. I remember on the other side of this door. It's the archive, right? Hurry up and go inside. Oh, here?
Let's go.
It all makes sense once you're inside. Whoa, there are so many books and files. There's so much dust,
So,
too.
in other words,
I always say there's enough value in this place to endure the dust. So many files stuffed into the shelf. What's
That's
in all
enough.
these things? Those documents are dangerous. Dangerous. They detailed all the people who control the world from behind the scenes. Dangerous truth for a commoner. You mean, like, members of the Diet or something? No, I mean the ones with real power. The Secret Council. The Secret Council. Controlling everything from the shadows. If you're ready to oh god. If you're ready to be disappeared for it, take a look. There are some very interesting people in there. You're kidding, right? Am I? I'll just let it go for now. The shelf is stuffed tight with files. Without really thinking about it, I picked one up at random. Ah, you have a sharp eye indeed to select that file.
that's right.
That's a report on a presidential assassination! The original is kept at the National Library. It won't be declassified for another 30 years. Are you sure you want to look at it now? There's no telling whose crosshairs you might wind up in for peeking at it. Not making a sound, I return the file to the bookshelf. Good choice! Hello there, Bill. Good choice, definitely a good choice just to put it back. It's going alright, how about you? There's a wooden box. It's empty. Although, judging by the smudges and the dust, looks like there was something inside it. I wonder what it was. There was an extension cord plugged in there. Provided very useful while I was in the library. Extension cord, huh? Huh? It's a desk lamp. Oh yeah, it's the same one I saw Bayaka using in the library before.
What?
Do you have a problem with that lamp? Yeah, fuck that lamp! It was here before. Then I moved it over there. It's too dark over there, so I thought I'd put it to good use. Hey, mono money! There's even a surveillance camera here. There's a ton of thick files stuffed onto the bookshelf. Thinking of looking through any of them? Let me give you a little warning. Those things are filled with graphic, disturbing photos from all kinds of crime scenes. The kind of thing any normal person would ever want to look at. Be careful. What do you mean? Oh, those files there are investigation reports related to different cold cases. Those are internal documents for police eyes only. They're not the kind of things you would expect to leak. Oh? So, are you finally beginning to understand the true splendor of this library? The entire reason I was interested in in the library is because of this room right here.
Interesting.
Conspiracy theories, you mean like that the Earth is round, the dinosaurs are real, and humans run the government, not the lizard men? Oh my lord. It's home to classified government documents. Police records, things no ordinary person would ever see. Isn't it magnificent? This can't be for real, right?
Such ignorance.
That's your guys' problem. Anything that doesn't fit into your preconceived reality, you label it a lie. Things you're supposed to say are conspiracies. Well, it's not that. It's not like I totally refuse to believe it. But, I mean, there's just so much. How could anyone have put all this together? I suppose it goes to show just how much power Hope's Peak truly wields, or perhaps the mastermind may have wanted to provide us with enough entertainment to keep us from getting bored. It's no use. I can't keep up with all this. It's just too unreal. What's wrong? You still can't believe it? What about you? How can you believe it so easily? Things that are usually impossible. What do you mean, usually? Usual? Normal? Ordinary? Simple? Those things don't exist anywhere in my real world. If you don't understand what they actually represent, you don't understand the nature of anything. You don't pull your punches, do you? Besides, what you consider usual is based on your common sense, right? But what makes you think that your own common sense applies to me at all? The documents gathered here are genuine. I have reviewed them multiple times, so there is no doubt. Oh, hold on a second. You're saying that you've read all these documents, and more than once? But all this has to be like top secret, confidential stuff, right? So why? My family has a reading room just like this at our home. Ours is bigger, of course, and not as dusty. Huh? Members of the Togami family have access to any variety of government-related documents. That includes foreign powers as well as domestic. How is that possible?
So, in other words...
I already told you. There's a secret council that controls the world from the shadows. My family is a member of that council, and I've within me the bloodline that will allow me to one day bend the world to my will. But to become such a ruler, I must know all levels of this world, backwards and forwards. So whenever I have time, I like to review whatever documents and materials that interest me. Which is why I can proclaim without a doubt that the materials here are the real things. Holy shit, volume is a blessing, I bet. This is beyond believing or not believing. Bayaka is blonde bitch is actually starting to scare me more than the actual mastermind. And what always interests me the most were the cold cases police investigation reports. Reading through those reports have always been such a hobby of mine, ever since I was little. Chad Togami Crane said, yeah. It's excellent mental exercise. I'll solve more than a few of those cases just by reviewing the reports. Nerd! And among all those reports, one of my most recent favorites, Chad Blonde Bitch Grind said, yeah. Is the Genocide Jack case. As he talked, Blonde Bitch grabbed a specific file from the shelf.
That's right.
This is the complete case file. Every single report surrounding the Genocide Jack cases have been compiled in here. Because there are so many, allow me to quickly summarize the main points. To begin, there are two notable characteristics in every Genocide Jack murder. The first characteristic is that at every crime scene, the word bloodlust is written on the victim's own blood. The second is that when the victims are murdered, their bodies are suspended in a certain way. Bloodlust is written in blood, and the victim's body is suspended. I swear if the video keeps stopping to load, I will kill the internet gods. Oh, please don't. Please don't. I actually kind of need the internet right now. What? She just... Hold on. Okay. They really are gods for everything. Yep. It's exactly the same as what happened to Shihiro. Save your surprise. The best part is yet to come. For the second characteristic, the victims are suspended. The only ones who knew about the particular fact. That particular fact were members of the police and other high-ups. By all accounts, nobody in the media ever found out. Huh? In other words, no one on the news, no one online, nobody knew about the aspect of each crime. There's a whole pantheon of just... Only key officials and the killer himself knew about this act of mounting the victims. Mounting. Now, if you recall Shihiro's corpse, her body was most certainly mounted in this fashion. So how could the killer have known about suspending the victim?
Right.
That's the key question. But in fact, the answer is quite simple. Hold on.
So, in other words...
The culprit isn't a copycat killer. It's the real Genocide Jack.
In other words...
That's right. There is evidence that Genocide Jack has hidden himself among the rest of us. There is an imposter! Genocide Jack really is such a brutal, fiendish killer really is walking around among us?
Interesting.
Things are really starting to get interesting, aren't they? I never imagined a killer with such a reputation would ever become part of our little game. Now, don't you think it... Now, don't you think it would be a good... would be good for you to take a look at what I've already seen? You might just manage to ferret out a clue.
Such ignorance.
If you get down on your knees and beg, I might even show you myself. Hold on, we still have more to check. We do? Where? What is still the check? I thought I checked it. No, that joke about mounting makes me think of... Oh god. Bayo, what about that Genocide Jack case file? Could you let me see it? Well, you didn't beg, but I guess it's okay this time. Feel free to look at it in here, but you can't take it with you. Murder cases of Genocide Jack. Top secret. Blonde bitch handed me the file, and I flipped through it with tense, nervous fingers. Suddenly, my hand stopped. I'd reached the page where photos from the scene of each crime had all been collected. Dang. The name of Genocide Jack victims ran on for several pages. Ken Harada, 32. Tetshiro Honda, 17. Soji Gaku, 23. Kano Isai, I don't know, 14. Takashi Yoshida, 30. Which is some weird shit, yeah. Komatsuna Taro. Takafumi Gono, Yoshida, Hisa, I think. Takashi Masumu, I don't fucking know. Oh well. Yuto Yumashima, I don't fucking know. And there was no end to it. But one thing became perfectly clear as I read. All of the killer's countless victims were killed and suspended in exactly the same way. And at the scene of every murder, the word bloodlust was left in the victim's own blood. Now take a look at the next page and you'll find another interesting tidbit. The next page. That's a lot of Pepto-Bismol, yeah. Profiling results. All of the deceased crimes took place either on weekdays, at night, or during holidays, either day or night. The most common time for the killings to take place was on holidays, in the afternoon. Based on these facts, it could be suggested that the suspect may be a student. Evidence suggests that the suspect lingered at the scene, but when they did leave, they were in a panic. Because an eyewitness has never come forward, it's unlikely there is any external reason for this. There's a difference between memes and... This confused behavior suggests that the suspect may potentially suffer from dissociative identity disorder.
So, in other words...
The key point here is that the culprit may well have a split personality. A split personality? Like the kind of thing you see on TV? Yes, dumbass! So I'm a part of another totally unbelievable story. But this one is way more unbelievable than anything else up until now. Or maybe it really isn't. I don't know. It feels like my mind has gone numb. Genocide Jack case file has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook.
Let's go.
Alright, we should get going soon. Huh? Where are we going? Anywhere but here. We've finished our business here, haven't we? Ah, wait! Blonde bitch! As usual, not Bayaka, blonde bitch turned and left without another word. I hurried out of the library to catch up. Well, this is where we part ways. I have some things I need to take care of before the class trial. Huh? Just all of a sudden like that.
I don't have time to play with you.
Come on, enough of your annoying misapprehensions. Did you really think we'd be together the whole time? Take responsibility for yourself and do something useful. Move the investigation forward on your own. Well, goodbye. Just like that, it was gone. Well then, in that case, considering the fact that the stream is loading again, John, what is your internet? Oh god, no. Just as quickly as he asked me to join him, he'd cut me off. In the end, I felt like I was just some plaything getting tossed around. I think you want to know what your internet provider is, not mine, because that's your internet, not my internet. At the same time, I'd uncovered some really important clues thanks to him. Genocide Jack. He's the one that killed Chihiro. And the murderous fiend is one of us! But who is it? Find out. I have to find that out, no matter what it takes. To do that, there's somewhere I have to go. Go investigate one more time. I have to go back to the scene of the crime scene. The girls' locker room, I should check the boys' locker room too. And the others might have come up with some info I might find useful while I'm at it. I need to find out everything I can. Around. Here, and then here. Who do you think Genocide Jack is? I mean, it's pretty obvious, but oh well. Ding ding ding! Hifumi has discovered evidence revealing the identity of the culprit.
I feel as if...
Another stat increase for me. Evidence. What did you find? I cannot reveal that just yet.
I'm sure
I
of it.
guarantee that what I found will steal the killer's breath from his lungs. Are you sure about that? Oh yeah, Miss Ludenberg said she'd witnessed something worthwhile too. Really? What did she see? She refused to tell me. It's like when a girl bullies the boy she likes, right? Right? Okay. Hifumi, that's not how that works. I doubt she's into you at all. What do you want, Aiden? Okay, so where's Celeste now? The warehouse by the door. She was there, but at the same time, not there. What's it gonna be? And there's the dead body! Go here, Hifumi can go and die. I agree. Hey, Kyoko, have you made any progress in your investigation? Genuinely
However,
speaking. But I have to get going. I have something unrelated to take care of. Something besides the investigation. What is it? Nothing you need to worry about. Just concentrate on the murder. But
then,
before I go, let me give you one piece of advice. You should examine Chihiro's body one more time, thoroughly. Also, her handbook is missing. You might want to determine its
Goodbye.
whereabouts. That's it. I'll be praying for your success. Zoe. With that, Kyoko turned and left the girls' locker room. I guess I'll take another look at the body then. And Chihiro's handbook is missing? That's definitely worth worrying about. It's probably the Chihiro's e-handbook had been added to the Truth Bullet Secondary Handbook. It's probably the one that's not working. You can't just believe. You can't just leave, you mystery bitch. Yeah. What do you think she's gonna go do?
Damn.
Chihiro's presence here was especially weak. Her body.
No forgiveness!
To target such a helpless being is unforgivable. What a wretched beast would do such a thing. I cannot forget this. Dude has a real complex about being weak. You heard Chihiro talk about it, right? I need to get stronger. Yeah, I do remember. She said that more than once. Sure did, which I guess explains the trip down here. But she did but did she, oh my lord, but did she really need to get stronger that badly? You already mentioned it, but she was a girl after all. Most girls aren't all that strong. I don't know, man. Haven't really thought about that stuff. Chihiro's complex? Where did it come from? Just a bit of casual sexism. Kyoko said I should examine the body one more time. I know she said thoroughly, but I do have my limits. Well, I better give it a shot anyways. Let's see. Chihiro hands are bound with what looked like some kind of rope. The rope was used to prop her up in some kind of crucifix position. Huh? This rope has a plug? Wait, so then this isn't rope at all. But the more I think about it, the more that's not the only thing that concerns me. Casual sexism, yeah. Chihiro's fatal injury was a blow to the head, which means someone struck her in the head in order to kill her. That's right. There's the issue of her being suspended and the fatal blow. First, I didn't see any reason to think too much about either of them. But seeing them again after looking through the Genocide Jack file, something's not quite right. What does that mean? What does this at all mean? Status of dead body has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Well, the one thing that's most likely to tie all these mysteries together is the true nature of the rope that was used to suspend Chihiro. To figure that out, there's a certain place I need to revisit and look over again. Plus, it might help to look at the Genocide Jack file case one more time. Are you suggesting something, Aim? What am I? Does it want me to check? Mastermind. Okay. There's a big blood stain with dumbbell on the floor. The Monokuma file said that a fatal injury was caused by the dumbbell had to be the murder weapon. Here. So he's at the pool. You don't say. So one more thing. What? Don't need to talk with you. Working. Find out in the class trial. Remember saying that once more? Sure did. Well, I guess the trip down here. Poster. Bloodstained poster. The blood is the most noteworthy part, but the big-breasted swimsuit model is pretty noticeable too. Girls' locker room doesn't seem like the kind of place you find things like this. Interesting. The word bloodlust is written on the wall in blood, just like in all those other Genocide Jack cases. At every crime scene, the word bloodlust is written in the victim's own blood. Leave, yes. Oh my god, I can leave now. Said I should check in here too. Down there's anything. On this poster, it's a popularly used boy band called Tornado. I don't think somehow it doesn't quite seem to fit in the boys' locker room. Oh, but wait, that reminds me. The poster in the other locker room is. That's right. There's definitely something strange about this. Boys' locker room. There's a poster of a popular boys band. Girls' locker room. There's a poster of a big-breasted swimsuit model. The posters have been switched. But if they were, why? What reason would anyone have? Well, even whilst I was chatting, the window was between. Oh my god. Maybe I should talk to someone who knows a little more about the locker rooms. 2 locker room posters have been added to your. Okay. I know there's still more in here. What? This. No, that's the door. There's a stain. There's a strange stain on the carpet. What is it? Boys' locker room carpet has been added to the truth bullet section. This is just the TV. This is one of the monitors. Monokuma, right now she's showing this real crest. If I break it, Monokuma might come and punish me. The boys' locker room, yes. Wants me. Should the best there are a bunch of different pool-related items on the shelf. There doesn't seem to be any kind of clues left. The boys' locker room card reader, but the door is unlocked now, so that's kind of pointless. I have to talk with Hifumi again. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Maybe yes. I talk with Hifumi now.
Da-da-da-da-da!
Ding ding ding! Just yet, but I guarantee you I found out. Dorms. Nope, he's useless as always. Girls' locker room, it's unlocked now. There must be more. This. I don't think this flotation has any clues. The gun? Is that a real gun? Why is it something mental? It's dangerous and also has nothing to do with the case. Security camera. Surveillance camera. Mastermind must have been watching Shiros was killed. They know what happened. They're still forcing us to go through with this. Nope. What am I? Room. I think I've interacted with literally everything I can interact with here. Only turn. The video has been working on my end, so I'm guessing the internet gods are my threat, so. What am I missing? Out of I did everything here because I can leave this room. So I've done everything there. What is there left for me to do? What is there? Am I just like missing something? I interact with the Kimi, I interact with the pool noodles, not pool noodles, the light of the duplication device. That. Interacted with all of this. Thought I interacted with everything in here. Except for this. Oh, I can go out into here. Okay. Maybe there's something out here. No. Nope, that door's open. Maybe there's some kind of clue in the lockers. It's not. Hey, but I got mono money though. Kuma coins. Was that what I was missing? There must be more left waiting. What? Can I talk with Hifumi now?
I see.
Other stat increase.
I'm sure of it.
What I found was steal the killer's breath away with his lungs. Sonnenberg.
Well, it would.
Oh, no, it was a couple. I've checked her body already. Oh, where's Locker's kids? Well, her body, yeah. Stain. No, I've checked all of the boys' locker room. There's something I'm missing in here. But I've looked over everything in here. Gun again. No gun. Surveillance camera. Cool thingies. Rotation device. Camera, not camera, that thing. Surveillance camera. I've checked everything here. You sure about that, bro? You sure there's still stuff left for me to discover here? You positive? You sure? You 100% sure? Are you like really, really sure that there's nothing left for me to discover? Yep, I've been over this already. Does she have more dialogue? Oh, okay. I used it nearly every day since I got opened up. Sometimes he and I use it together. Okay, then let me ask you something. You ever think the posters... Oh, yeah, the posters. Okay. Do you think the posters in the boys' and girls' locker rooms could have been switched? Sorry, I can't really say. I never really paid any attention to the posters.
However,
But there is something that's been bothering me about the locker rooms. You see, I like to drink a little protein coffee every time I finish exercising. We have protein coffee? It's in the warehouse. It's not the highest quality, but I don't have a lot of other options. Why is there... To prevent sexual deviancy? Yeah, exactly. That's why there's a gun there. Mix protein powder with coffee. Down a glass of it after exercising. Anyway, the other day I spilled some on the carpet in the girls' locker room, and it left a stain. A stain? But I don't see any stain on the carpet now. Exactly. I noticed it earlier. The stain has disappeared. I only assume someone came along and cleaned it up. But still, isn't it unusually clean, as if there was never a stain here to begin with? True, the spring stain has been added. Now can I leave? Oh my god, I can leave! No, I wanted you to go back to the library, read up on the case file again. There's a thick layer of dust on top of the desk. I know that. Maybe there's some kind of clue. Guess not. Is it how, like, the lamp is plugged in, or... Not what it is. Documents, secret council, better not. Or... Does I become a target? Nope, I'll leave. Okay. The desk lamp. If I could grab that one thing from over here and put it over there. Sure is dark over there. Okay, sound now nothing. Give the archive. Okay, let me go talk with, It's not, the shelf is packed tight with books. Maybe there's some kind of clue here. Guess not. Does it actually want me to check up on the Genocide Jack thing? Let's take another look at the Genocide case file. I know it was around here somewhere. Huh? It's gone! Did someone take it out of the archive? But the only one who would do something like that. I can't think of anyone but Bayaka. Now I gotta go find Bayaka. What else do I need to check? Shelf is packed tight with books. No. Yes. Thank you. According to the letter, Jose stopped functioning at the school. What more? It didn't even happen recently. Apparently closed over down a year ago. The mastermind probably took over their band in school in order to stop this killing game. Explains why there aren't any other students here, because it's not a real school. And there's these serious issues that forced the school to close down in the first place. Is there any connection between that and what's happened to us now? The mastermind's motive. If we can figure out why they would want to imprison us all here, will that be enough to get us out? Or... that, one computer that was there is gone now. Huh? The lamp won't turn on. Oh, I see. It's not plugged in. The lamp cord isn't long enough to reach the outlet from here. But last time I saw it, it was definitely on, and it was definitely right here. Oh, that's right. Bayaka was using an extension cord. But there's no extension cord here now. I wonder if... Library desk lamp has been added to the truth bullet section. Now can I leave? Oh my god, thank you. Drove insane here. Okay, where is... Bayaka? Archive, library, let me go downstairs first and talk with, and, Celeste. Oh. That might be... Why is... Got a rattle, door won't budge, it must be locked. I just noticed that. But... Oh, this is the way out. That's what this is, okay. Oh, it's him. Might as well talk to him.
Huh? Oh, hey.
Oh, hey, Makoto, what's up? I haven't been up to anything myself. That's for sure. Definitely haven't looked inside the mailbox. The area, yep. Do you have anything to say, Blood?
How unfortunate.
Maybe we should have confessed our embarrassing secrets after all. Damn it! I'm sorry, Shihiro. It's all because I wasn't strong enough. Literally what she died over, dumbass. Because she said she wasn't strong enough. Living room. Like. Why am I doing that? I have a... No. I'll figure out what button there it is. I want to go... here. But I haven't looked inside the mailbox. Gotcha. Oh, Hina, how's Toko doing? Same as before. She won't come out, and she just keeps on mumbling something about Genocide Jack. So I just left her there. You left her? My head was all swimmy, and I was getting pretty hungry. Oh, but don't worry. I'm gonna head back as soon as I'm done eating. Toka's not exactly pleasant, but I'm still worried about her. Speaking of which, what are you eating? A donut, of course. Of course. There's two things I'm sure God created. Outer space and donuts. Really? I bet Shihiro would have liked to eat more donuts. Maybe that was her one big regret. Oh my god. I should have tried to spend more time with her. Come to think of it, who did she spend time with? Yeah, she was a little bit strange. Didn't really hang out with the other girls much. It did not look at I know. It was like she was trying to keep her distance from us. Actually, Sakura did something similar. She said that even though you and her invited Shihiro, oh whoops. Yep, it's true. And it wasn't just us. It wasn't just us either. It was like she stayed away from all the girls. Was she just shy? I don't know, but she talked to the boys all the time. Everyone hangs out with the crazy on her. Isn't it kind of weird to be shy around your own sex, but totally fine with the opposite sex? Oh wait, maybe she used the guys spoiling her. Law says you can't judge a book by its cover, right? Think so? Never really saw her as that kind of girl. Well, Aoi's accent has been recorded to the truth section of the handbook. Okay. I want to go to the... warehouse. Can't I get to the warehouse from here? No. This is the last laundry. This is the storeroom. Oh, it is the storeroom. Celeste, what are you doing here? This warehouse is amazing. It has absolutely everything one might need to live a full life. From food to clothes to towels, there's an endless supply to choose from. I see that, but do you find anything related to the case?
Unfortunate.
When the law says I can't judge a book by the cover, pounding at door. FBI, open up! I knew you were going to ask me that. I thought about talking about the warehouse itself might misdirect you, but I see it was pointless. Did you find something? Very well, I will tell you and
Actually-
only you. Last night I saw her here. Shakira was in the warehouse. What? Really?
Indeed.
It was right before nighttime.
What are you doing out this late?
Oh, I was just...
Are you planning to go exercise, perhaps?
What? How did you know?
Because I can see a blue track jacket sticking out of that duffel bag you're carrying.
Oh, you're right. Thanks. Well, I'd better get going. I'm kind of in a hurry.
Where did I put him on my bed? I did put him on my bed. She stuffed the jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. Just like that, she was gone.
Yes, indeed.
I assume she was merely stocking up to go exercise in the morning, but it would appear she ignored the nighttime rule and headed directly to the girls' locker room. Started ramming off about covers. Oh my god! If she hadn't broken her rule, none of this would ever have happened. You get what you deserve, I suppose. But apparently, she went to the girls' locker room late at night in order to exercise without anyone knowing. But the strange thing is, there's no trace of the track jacket or duffel bag. Celeste said that she saw Shakira carrying, which means the killer would have gotten rid of it somehow. Oh god, is the incinerator coming back? Ding dong, ding bong. A body has been discovered!
So,
God damn it, Monokuma. So who
I'm
is it
getting
this time?
tired of waiting. Shall we just plunge right in? It's the moment you've all
Okay.
been waiting for.
I'm not prepared.
The class trial. You remember where to meet, right? Please go through the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
Begin the class trial, or it's about to begin. Red door is right through here. What if I just choose not to? Court simulator. Yeah, what happens if I just decide not to? Like, is there anything that bad happens? Or just like, I cannot go in anywhere else. No, fuck it. There's no running away now. Through a door, I have no choice but to go through. Okay. You get shot by Monokuma. Weight limit exceeded. Ahem. So is everyone ready to... What? Am I blind? Or am I missing someone?
Yo.
Yeah, Toko's not here. And Toko is... You really don't remember?
Come on.
Kidding! I'm just kidding. How could I forget that little nut job? She's a crucial part of this class trial
What
this
are you
time.
gonna do?
Okie dokie! I'll go ahead and drag her out of her. Out here kicking and screaming. Just one moment. Just like that. Like you said, a few minutes later, he reappeared dragging Toko behind him. I told him I didn't want to, but he forced me. I can't believe you drag a girl around. So after the murder case, can I bring the case up with someone taking time taking correctly? Yeah. Terrible. You're terrible. Whew. So now everyone's here, correct? Right? Now then, hustle onto the elevator. Let's get this show on the road.
Let's go.
So shall we get going? It's time to find out who killed Shihiro. Zero. Shihiro Fugasaki. She was so gentle, so calm and meek. Nobody had any problems with her. Hey, just like Basil. Someone made the choice to kill a girl like that. And that murderer is one of us. Someone's standing right here! No choice, right?
It's true.
I gave a small nod in reply. With one last deep breath, I walked towards the elevator on shaky legs. He stepped forward. I could feel my heart starting to race faster and faster. As soon as everyone was on, weight limit exceeded. No, fucking Hifumi immediately walks on it. He's like the first one on. Weight limit exceeded. The elevator began its descent. I couldn't get a handle on my emotions. Couldn't stop speculating. The steel box sank with heavy clinking sounds deeper and deeper into the ground. And as we went deeper, the uneasiness in my heart grew bigger and bigger. The elevator was unaffected, however, and continued to descend without hesitation. Until finally, it came to a sudden stop. What do you think? I redecorated! Isn't it so fresh? Isn't it so exciting? It's good and all, but the perfect that's yeah. Don't waste your time with stupid questions. Let's get this over with. Good. You're rip-roaring to go. I say, I don't hate it at all, not at all. And then,
Thrills, chills, kills!
please find your assigned seats. And so, the curtains opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith. A deadly class trial. Yes, save. Yes. The skills. I have more skill points now. Or do I have more skills? I do. I have just enough to put that one on as well. Alright. Company handbook. Gift bullets. Objection! Objection overruled! I think I have everything in order. Trial. All right!
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, then. So, first off, let's talk about the murder weapon!
Murder weapon! Woo! First, we have to make clear what was used to deliver the fatal blow. Starts playing the objection hearsay song for the Johnny Depp trial. Oh God. Locker room dumbbell.
Chihiro's fatal injury. It appears it was a head wound.
According to the Monokuma file, the killer used a blunt instrument. But what kind of blunt instrument could it have been?
I forget how to fire and shit.
I bet it was an iron pipe.
I'm glad I missed.
It certainly would.
Oh my God, I'm glad I
Chihiro's
missed.
fatal injury.
It appears it was according to the Monokuma file. What kind of blunt instrument?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
No, don't run away from me!
It certainly would.
Bastard! Run away from me.
Chihiro's. It appears it was according to the Monokuma file. What kind of blunt instrument could it?
I bet it was an iron pipe.
It was not, you fool!
No, it's wrong.
Objection!
Can we agree that the object that dealt the fatal blow was the dumbbell, found at the scene of the crime? It was covered in blood, and there was nothing else at the scene that could have caused that kind of injury.
And the wound on the victim's head is consistent with the shape of the dumbbell. As far as I'm concerned, there's no mistake and no room for doubt on this one.
You looked at her head wound?
Yes! That's so
Hifumi, shut the hell up. No one cares. I hope Hifumi dies next.
If you don't mind, I will proceed from here. Let's move on to discussion of the culprit. Although, I believe the criminal behind this heinous act is already quite clear.
What? For real?
Chihiro's killer is the fiendish serial killer, Genocide Jack.
Genocide Jack, fiendish serial killer. Did he really kill Chihiro? A new element has been added to non-stop debates. Would you like to hear more? Yes! For this debate, lines of white noise will appear to disrupt your reactions. Your truth bullets will disappear if you hit these lines, so think of them as obstacles in your debate. There is a way to keep the white noise from getting in your way. Press the A button to attach the silencer, which you can shoot down the white noise. However, if you shoot at an actual remark with your silencer instead of white noise, the time limit will decrease, so take careful aim when you have your silencer out. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, white noise won't appear at all. In which case, you're gonna forget about the silencer and just focus on the situation in front of you. Well then, good luck and have fun! Genocide Jack.
The culprit is Genocide Jack. I'm sure of it. Case closed, as far as I'm concerned.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Oh, bastard!
Speaking of genocide,
I don't know who that is! The culprit is Jenna's case closed.
But that's impossible!
Why? What makes it impossible?
Well, I mean, come on! There's just no proof for it.
Be gone!
No, it's wrong.
Objection!
I might know one reason he could be involved.
What?
I found this file while I was looking around the archive in the library. I guess it's some kind of confidential file the police put together about the Genocide Jack case.
What? That's kind of weird as shit, isn't it? What was something like that doing in the library?
The why of it is probably more trouble than it's worth. So let's forget about that for now. More importantly, it outlines all the specifics of every Genocide Jack case in exceeding detail. According to the file, there appear to be two defining characteristics in every Genocide Jack case. The first is that a bloody message is found written at the scene of every murder.
Bloodlust?
Oh, that's right. Boob lust.
Boob lust. Okay, so when can we kill Hifumi? Just completely unrelated. No, completely unrelated to like the line he just said at all. But when can we kill Hifumi? Like I'd like to know. When can we kill him? Can I just like stab him just right here, right now? Like, please, can I just like whip out like a I don't know, like a steak knife or something and just start stabbing him, slit his neck 3 times. If he dies, I know who the murderer is.
No. It's actually bloodlust.
But more important is the other characteristic, and it's something that has never been made public.
Oh, come on.
Never made public?
Why not?
What the hell is it?
Why don't you tell them, Makoto?
It's not his time. They're the characteristic for every Genocide Jack case, which is okay. Steak knife, is that an emoji? Oh my god, I did not mean to actually make that. Ay, ay, ay.
I got it! Apparently, in every Genocide Jack case, the killer suspends the body in a certain way.
Whoops.
Other than the killer, the only people who know about this are the higher-ups in the police department.
However, Chihiro was most definitely suspended in the same way. So, how did the culprit know about this when only high-level police officials were aware of it? There's only one logical answer I can think of.
You did
It's
it!
because the culprit in this case
It was you!
is the real Genocide Jack.
No fucking way!
He fucking did it!
You're saying Genocide Jack is one of us?
Yes. In fact, it's Toko.
What? Yeah, Toko.
Genocide Jack's true identity is Toko Fukawa.
Eat shit, Toko. Eat shit and die.
What?
Eat shit and die.
Okay, wait, hold on a sec. Toko has like bloodophobia or whatever, remember? What kind of serial killer is afraid of blood?
Is Toko Genocide Jack? The answer is yes and no.
Killer has access to that file. He was just laying in the library. Well, I don't know if you saw it late earlier when your like internet was shiting itself. Togami said that he had access to like every police record because he's part of the Togami family, and the Togami family is a part of the Shadow Council.
Another riddle? Man, why is this gotta be so complicated?
Sort of then like the killer and higher up police officers, anyone in the Shadow Council also knew. So Togami had access to that information. It's a riddle for sure, but I feel like I understand it. What it means for Genocide Jack to be Toko, but also not mean it's multiple personality disorder, dissociative identity disorder. DID. Oh god. What am I? No, I don't. R. No. A. No. What is it? No fucking. I don't know. See? Schizo? No. I Nobody leaves me, nobody. Okay. Yes.
I refuse to give up yet.
Yeah, I get that. Brother-ish, so. Come on. There's... But like, I fucking
Now I understand.
Oh.
Is it because Genocide Jack has a split personality?
Huh?
Yes.
I think I read that somewhere in the file too. They thought that the suspect might have, what did they call it? Dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah,
Okay, but
Or
still, to go and say that about Miss Fukawa is...
Perfectly acceptable. Toko's
Exactly.
strange behavior after seeing the body is proof enough that she has a split personality.
One thing that Togo could have something to do with her behavior.
I got it! You're talking about how she started acting totally different than usual, right?
That's right. Think back. She fainted when she saw Chihiro's corpse, and then, when she woke up,
I'm fine, I'm fine. Yeah! Whoa, is that a dead body? Hey, are you dead? She must have hit her head real hard. Real hard when she fainted. The road has a front and a back, a top inning, and a bottom, a sea of truth and a web of lies. This is quite concerning. I mean, she sounds completely different.
She was acting funny, that's for sure. That melancholy tone of hers completely disappeared.
Don't go assigning adjectives to my tone without permission.
Shut the fuck up.
Not to mention, once she regained consciousness and saw Chihiro's body again, she was utterly calm. In other words, within her is one personality that can't handle blood, and one that obviously can.
So when Toko trapped herself in her room, it's because she was scared of Genocide Jack?
Yes. I won't let Genocide Jack have control. I'll drive out the killer. Drive out the murderous fiend.
The reason she locked herself in her room wasn't to keep other people from getting in. It was to keep her other personality from getting out.
What?
Toko was afraid. Afraid of the murderous fiend inside of her. Of killing even more people.
Wow.
Yeah. How can you know all this?
I do believe you misunderstood her. What she's trying to say isn't, how can you know all this? No. What she wants to know is, how could you tell them?
Huh?
Last night, just before Monokuma gave his motive speech, Toko and I had a strange conversation. She told me a most interesting story. She said a murderous fiend lived within her, and she was afraid it could appear and attack at any time. And that trepidation is what's caused her to have such a bleak attitude. Isn't that right, Toko?
Yeah, Toko.
This is all a lie. Right, Toko?
You said you wouldn't tell anyone.
What?
You promised. I can't believe you lied.
Hey, is that where that
You
one
have
audio comes
only yourself to blame. You came to me with your tragic little story. I didn't ask you to. This is the real world, not some romantic fantasy fairy tale.
You know, stitches
Besides,
get stitches and thrown
you
into
broke
bitches
your
and then turned
promise
into witches.
first. You said that as long as you were here, no matter
snitches
what,
get stitches and
you
thrown
wouldn't
into
let
ditches and then
Genocide
turned into
Jack
witches,
kill
which
anyone.
become bitches.
But in spite of that promise,
You did a and then killed Chihiro. I'm sorry, I couldn't keep our promise. But don't worry, never again. I won't let Genocide Jack have control ever again.
You said if I kept my promise, you would go out with me. That's the only reason I promised.
how many times do I have to tell you? I never said that. But you weren't able to do it. You just couldn't resist that rush you got from
You
killing,
did a shit
could
job,
you?
Toko. Yeah.
I tried. I swear I tried to control it, but
I bet
your
Toko
efforts
was
were useless.
fun.
What a
to,
disappointment.
Yeah, talk about fucking how desperate she was. Yeah, fucking hell, man. Fucking trying to voice act Toko must have been really fun.
I hate you.
Well, the opening act is nearly finished.
Crazy
All that's
thing in
left
the
is to
room,
hear
yeah.
from the person in question directly.
The person?
Yes,
You
Genocide Jack.
don't mean.
Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoed across the courtroom, but in the next second... Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a long
Is it me you were
time.
hoping to see?
Genocide Jill? Damn that tongue.
What the heck?
What that
So you
tongue do?
figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do?
What that tongue do? Seriously, what that tongue do?
I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this?
What a...
Toko, What happened to you?
Not Toko. That's a loser name. And what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's fault.
Jesus Christ. Damn teeth! The fuck? That's like fucking spicy scene like Mario. Goddamn.
Intense.
Like they say, sound and murder is mind, sound and murder is body.
Just a 15.5 student genocide.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie. Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
Damn, fucking them spike teeth are back. This is the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. This is beyond insane.
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a
Jacker.
question?
What's up?
It's possession. Yeah, that's not dissociative of identity disorder. That's a fucking possession. You need to fucking call the priest.
Some of us think we might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you. I am the mastermind of all masterminds. Just kidding.
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid! And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic, bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone. Just kidding again!
God damn, you could like cut paper. You could cut like a steak on those teeth. Fucking like put a piece of paper up to it and the paper would get a paper cut.
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death. There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed. Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster!
Maybe. Maybe she's totally right about that, but something's still bothering me. What she said, I need to get some more details about all this. Okay, so obviously it was not fucking Toko, it was Togami that did it, because he's the only one that would have access to the male locker room using his e-handbook. So the murder actually took place in the male's locker room. How Chihiro got in there, I have no idea, but we're gonna go ahead and skip that detail. And then she got murdered in there, and then the rugs had to be swapped, because the rug that was in the male's locker room was all bloody and whatnot, and same with the poster. So the poster and the rug got swapped with the girls' locker room, and the fucking extension cord was what was used to hang her up by. And then there's as well to frame Genocide Jack / Jill / Toko. Status of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone!
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things. Oh, an alibi, huh? Now we're talking!
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up.
You killed her.
Okay. So there's literally only...
There's
literally only one thing. Alright, good. Here, let's see.
When you compare your past...
The modus operandi matches completely.
No, it's wrong. Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
I am on, I have no idea. I don't know where to find that out. But not easy.
Oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you! I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things. Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything.
That's so true, though.
But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
That's true.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one. I got it!
Yeah, don't diss the
For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors.
Man, fucking talk about like what is it, like Edward Scissorhands?
But Chihiro died from a blow to the head,
Oh,
right?
God.
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange
It
for
does,
someone who
though.
kills the same
Kind
way
of,
without
depending on
fail
what it is.
to suddenly change their method? And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's right! In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce!
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
Second difference related to how she was suspended. But to the other Genocide Jack, were stabbed through the hands. Clear difference.
I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her?
Yeah, fucking
They
sense
used
board.
some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
Oh, excuse me.
And guess what? I use my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement! Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Man? Are you referring to me?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
Is there? Is it this like the font of Bloodlust?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case.
They were all male.
There's a
weren't they?
pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
Pattern?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Little lolly girl. Oh, that's hilarious. Let's see. There's a pattern surrounding the genocide Jack victims that Chihiro didn't fit in. If you look at the names of every victim, you'll see what notice there is. I think I'll figure it out. There's no way she can love her.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Okay, since we're in kind of like a point where I can pause, I need to go grab more water or my throat is going to like evaporate. So I'll be right back. Have fun listening to the suspenseful music. Lovely intermission music, but I'll be right back. Alright, I've returned.
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
They were all guys?
That's right! The people I kill with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men! I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
Oh my god.
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it! But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
Oh my god.
So since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Not entirely sure if I have an unpopular.
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
I would never kill for survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
Yeah,
That
dumbasses.
does make some amount of sense. Plus, whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
What fish ain't
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Uh-oh.
Da-da-da-da!
Jesus, she's a clock!
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side?
Depends on, like, the cookout. Like, who's the cook.
Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you? Gutter dogs, all of you! Not to mention, I have no clue how to tie a good knot. So rope's totally out of the question anyway.
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
Yeah, like,
But
yeah, just
the
depends
body
on who's
really
taking
was
the bait.
suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Yeah.
And
That's why we
Togami,
figured it had to be the
Togami
real deal, and not
Togami knew!
or whatever.
One person who could have copied the genocide Jack cases. Where's blonde bitch? Blonde bitch!
Here's my answer. Yakuya, it's possible you could have found out,
yeah,
isn't
agreed.
it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you've already looked through the Genocide Jack file before
Okay, what's
this
your
all
guys'
happened,
opinion
hadn't you?
on, like, hot dogs or, like, sausages that are, like, that have, like, cheese in them, like, cheesy dogs and whatnot like that?
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was because he wanted to pin the crime on her. So he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it. The adorable glasses man was behind it all. Oh, I'm on fire!
She needs help. She needs sent straight to the mental asylum, just straight to the asylum. And it doesn't matter what asylum. She needs to go straight to an asylum. Like, I won't kill her, but Hifumi just needs to die. Like, just decapitate.
What's your response?
I can turn the game down a little bit. I mean, the game is almost all the way down, so I can't really turn it down much more. I can turn myself up, but I can't really turn the game down much more.
I see. So now then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
I can do it this way. There we go.
Looking back and thinking about it now,
Is that good now?
the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
In the locker rooms. You're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. Wouldn't you agree? Sounds like it. Alright. Huh? Suspicious? Seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy,
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
But that's not a good reason.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
A little quieter. Well, like the music itself, or like the game, like all the the sound effects and whatnot. Like, is the game overpowering me right now? If so, I can just turn my mic volume up. Answer. Well, I don't have like just a slider that I can just move like 3 notches. Okay, well, go ahead and show the class, rest of the class. There was a clear contradiction what Blonde Bitch just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. New element has been added to non-stop debates. Would you like to guess? Next, we're going to add something called a truth flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down the Y button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorization phase can be shot once as a single truth bullet. No, okay. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case. When the best time to flashback? Well, you just have to use your keen wits, won't you? In this case, though, I say that if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Well then, good luck and have fun! Monokuma file number. Oh god, I forget what's on the Monokuma file.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
The victim was Shihiro for exactly the time of death is estimated around 2 a.m. The body was discovered in a girls' locker room on the 2nd floor of the school. With a blow to the head with a blunt object, she was killed instantly.
But he was
I don't know what
acting
that
weird.
means.
How?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girl.
There was no
time for point.
What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Hearing back his comments about Shihiro being a girl, I realized there's a clear contradiction there. It doesn't make sense how he could have known before we even found it. I need to make that contradiction clear. What?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we... But he was acting... If you're presented with the opportunity...
This maybe?
That's unnatural. The victim
Was Chihiro. So of course I would
suggest we check. There was no time for... What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you. So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird.
So are
before we
these
found
people
the
from
body.
Paper Mario because their body is flatter than hell? Oh my god. No.
But he was acting weird.
if you're
Oh my God, that's
presented
not
with the
what I wanna do.
opportunity to check out...
That's a natural reaction. The victim
victim was Chihiro. So of course
Oh my
I would
god, no, I
suggest-
keep pressing the goddamn round
so
button!
strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you. So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird.
Oh my God, no.
But he was acting weird.
If you're presented with the opportunity to...
That's unnatural. The victim
was Chihiro. So of
course I would suggest there was no time for... What's so strange?
I wish you'd taken me with you. So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird, but he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity to...
That's a natural reaction for...
the victim was Chihiro.
No, that's wrong. I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
I see. That's a good answer. I must. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got...
Look at Bayaka's attitude. It's like he doesn't even care. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like
What's
it has
the
nothing
matter?
to do with him.
You're not finished already, are you? There must be more to it.
There is. I think.
There is more to it. Think about it. We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The difference between the cases, this case and other Genocide Jack murders, the evidence that proves Bayaka is responsible for is hidden in there. What could it be? I have no idea, honestly. Library. Oh, the desk book.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body. But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life. Obviously,
Somebody
somebody
else must have
had
had it hidden away somewhere.
What? The difference? You want me to explain? When I want to kill, and I use those same scissors. But Chihiro, it was some kind of...
That's right!
Then there must be something...
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Oh my!
Obviously,
Somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
What? The difference? You want me to explain? When I want to kill, and I use those same scissors. But Chihiro, it was some kind of...
That's right!
Then there must be something...
Hey, Byakuya.
Where'd you...
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
No! No! Oh!
No, it's wrong. Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you?
I was using
And the
it, though.
same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message.
No, you killed her in the boys' locker room. then
I
swapped
intentionally
everything.
made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it. Is that about right?
He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved.
What's
Wait,
wrong?
not even involved.
I asked you if you think that's what happened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
I know, but still, there's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right?
Hello
And
there.
what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime.
But you didn't kill her in the girls' locker room because you don't have access to the girls' locker room. You killed her in the boys' locker room and then dragged her body over to the girls' locker room, used her e-handbook, opened the door, and then yada yada
Specifically,
yada.
I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
I already have this all solved out. Wait. What was that just now? Something's not right. Shihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room. But does that mean... Can I really just accept what Bayaka said as the truth? No! No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said.
I got
scene of the crime. I mean, it's gonna
You
go
say
whole
you
less
killed
conspiracy
Chihiro in the
setup.
girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How
predicted what
disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown. She was found
No,
dead
wait, you know what?
in the
It's a true
girls'
letdown
locker
to
room.
you.
There is absolutely no question about that.
What? Oh, okay,
How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later, along with the rest of the murder scene.
The rest of the murder scene?
Yes.
That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey, Bayaka, did I just take you off guard? Yes. My story suddenly moved to the crime scene. Bayaka, who had been so confident up until now. Maybe Bayaka never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere
Don't
else.
just move on without permission! What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Bro,
Come
shut
on,
up.
Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
The poster and the, There's something to switch before the boys. Let me find it. I'm gonna say the carpets. I mean, two things were actually swapped, but I'm gonna present this one. First subject for the scene was switched. Oh. Boys, okay.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is
I mean,
the
it could have been
poster that's
either
hanging
or. I
in
just
each
went with
locker
the
room.
rugs first. I figured it was either
Your
the rugs or the
proof
posters, so
is
if
some
the posters didn't
posters?
work. It was the rugs.
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel. Don't you think that's kind of strange?
That's fucking hilarious, hearing that out of Makoto.
Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
Yes.
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker room.
Ah, here it is.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched
Yes, that's what I've been trying to
too?
say.
But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think? In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the blood-stained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why not is the better
Why
question.
would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room,
Why is Chihiro
then
was
how
there?
did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device. But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Uh-oh. Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten to the boys' locker room somehow? I'm actually not sure about this one. Broken. Oh yeah, there is a broken e-handbook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook. She was the ultimate programmer, after all. I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it.
See everything else.
She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about
no,
Leon's
that's not
handbook,
what I
of
mean.
course. If she had that, she could get into the boys' locker room no problem.
Is it really? Could Chihiro really have...
She must have hacked her. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have been.
No, I don't. She used the thing that.
Huh? What?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
No, it's wrong.
No, I don't think so. Oh, she's...
No, I don't think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
That'd be true.
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup, yup, yup! Hit the nail square on the noggin!
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers, like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
Nope, Monokuma wouldn't allow
You
that.
can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
No, you're wrong, Hifumi.
It
Go
seems
die.
like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room. And Byakuya's the one who really did it then? Did it really? He was truly ahead of his time. Transfer rights 2010 to 2011. God, but still, I don't know what else I can do.
I agree with you, though. I think you're on the right track.
What the? You finally decide to open your mouth and that's what you've got to say? There's no way she could get in the boys' locker room, right? So...
Why are you so sure she couldn't get in? There's still one other way she could have gained access.
What?
What are you talking about? What other way is there?
Well, to explain that, why don't we take a little break from the trial? I'd like you all to come see something.
Wait. Just what do you think you're doing?
Don't worry.
Putting the
This'll
damn
make the
trial on
whole
hold.
trial more exciting. I'm sure that thought must please you.
Huh? It'll make things more exciting? Well, all right then. I declare an official class trial recess.
Dang.
For real?
Now then, what is it you want to show us? It better not be boring or I'll be very unhappy.
Oh, I have no doubt it'll meet your lofty expectations. So, shall we go?
We shall. So before I even knew what was happening, the class trial had been put on hold. We headed off with Kyoko in the lead. And where she took us was...
The girls' locker room?
We've already searched this place top to bottom. What are you trying to pull, Missy?
I'd like you to examine the victim's body one more time.
I'm gonna check
Be
it
sure
again.
to examine the entire body very carefully. Take your time.
So, is Oh, okay. Maybe Chihiro
Examine
is
her
actually a boy.
Carefully? Like using our hands?
No way, no way, no way, no way, no way!
It's probably best if I don't run my hands all over a girl's dead body.
It's not that I'm creeped out or anything, it's just based on religious grounds,
Religious
you know?
grounds, you know.
Very well. I'll do it.
But you're a girl. You shouldn't have to touch a dead body. Just let one of the boys do it.
No, it's okay. I think Chihiro would rather have a girl examine her. So just leave this to me.
Sakura. What is this? Some kind of secret girl-on-girl action? Is that what you two are about? That's not it at all.
Necrophilia.
Stop screwing around.
Okay, here I go.
First one you
I'm sorry, Chihiro. Please excuse the intrusion.
Bring your hands together in a brief prayer. Sakura then begin to
Be
quietly
sure to
examine the
check
body.
her entire body, and I believe we will solve this particular mystery.
Okay, so I still believe Togami did it, but maybe Chihiro's actually a boy, and Togami took one of the girls' e-handbooks and did
Her
that.
entire body? I know you say that, but... What? This is... What is this...
What is it?
Not possible. It's not possible.
Sakura's eye was staring wildly at Chihiro's lifeless form. Her massive frame trembled.
This girl is
what?
Is a boy!
Ah, I see. So she was actually a he. Interesting. Thank you for confirming this fact.
What?
He would go jump off the
joking,
cliff.
right?
I wouldn't joke about this.
Then
You were right.
it's really true?
It is.
Chihiro was a guy?
Oh, what? You guys didn't know? Heck, I knew that right off the bat. Chihiro Fujisaki was totally a guy.
Then he was a cross-dresser? Oh, I'm really on fire! I wish I had
Oh
killed
my
him!
god!
So that's what Kyoko wanted to show everyone, huh? Interesting.
Fanboy? Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that certainly does make things much more
Basil,
exciting.
yeah, it actually is.
Now let's ride this wave of excitement back to the courtroom and get back to the trial. Ahem. I do apologize for keeping you waiting. Now then, let's resume the class trial.
Basil,
We've all just learned of the shocking revelation that Chihiro was actually a boy. Let's pick up from there.
Yes, well, I don't know his reason for hiding it, but the fact is, Chihiro was not a girl, but a boy.
To think that Chihiro was actually a guy. I thought
And
I'd
because
never
the
crossed
victim
my
was
mind.
male, he would have had no problem gaining access to the boys' locker room.
Yep.
Assuming his handbook did, in fact, list his gender as male, then yes, that would be true.
Of course his handbook said he was a boy. He dressed like a girl, but he was a boy through and through.
So then, there should be no issue with Makoto's initial assertion. The victim was killed in the boys' locker room, and was then later moved to the girls' locker room. And the killer could have easily used Sayaka or Junko's handbook to get into the girls' locker room.
So Chihiro really was killed in the boys' locker room?
I still don't understand the motive for moving the body,
Did she
but
know beforehand?
yes, that does seem plausible.
Well, I must admit, I did find it rather odd.
I think that,
I knew he felt a little
face?
off.
Hold on.
There was a certain incongruity to his female body.
This is the most titillating situation!
Okay. Yeah, and I feel like her ultimate is like the ultimate detective.
So now everything has been connected. All the mysteries have finally become clear.
Okay, well, connected or clear or whatever. We still think you're the killer, remember?
You missed a little bit.
Very interesting. This has become very interesting
Waste at the wrong time. Yeah.
Ah, he's off in his own little world.
What about you, Makoto? After everything we've learned, do you still think Byakuya is the killer?
Yes, Byakuya's still the killer.
Without a doubt, Byakuya is the one that made Chihiro's death look like Genocide Jack did it. But I think he might not actually be the killer after all.
What? But aren't you the one who accused him in the first place?
It's her full bit, even though
He
she's
just
the
seems to
ultimate
be
lame.
too easygoing about all this. Like he's enjoying us solving the mystery. The way he's acting, it makes it seem like it doesn't have anything to do with him.
What was the
And you
motivation?
think that might be because it doesn't have anything to do with him?
Plus, the evidence he left behind was a little too... how can I put it? Overt. He
I have no idea what
consciously
that
chose
means.
to use the extension cord,
True.
knowing it could connect him to the murder. At least, that's how I see it.
That's an interesting...
And Byakuya,
That's interesting.
when you found out the murder took place in the boys' locker room, it seemed to rattle you.
It was embarrassing secrets, yeah.
And then again, when you found out Chihiro was actually a guy. If you really were the killer, that stuff wouldn't have had any effect on you.
So that's your thinking, huh? Well, it bothers me that you don't have more concrete reasons, but it's fine. I guess I'll mark it as correct for the time being.
Mark it as correct?
He's right. I am not the culprit.
He's not.
I just happened to come across the corpse in the girls' locker room and decided to
alter it. Ooh, so now I gotta think of a
fucking
new...
with us right now?
No,
I gotta
I
think
am
of a new
not
theory now.
effing with you right now. I'm telling you the truth.
Well, I find it very hard to believe.
Go ahead. Find it very hard to believe. You're free to be executed along with the rest of us.
If you're really telling the truth, then why? Why do you do that to his body?
My reasons hardly matter right now. Uncovering the culprit is much more important, wouldn't
Maybe
you
I'll
say?
alter my theory.
Now then, if it wasn't me, who was it?
Well, I don't think I can say for sure without talking about it a little more.
We're seriously gonna keep going? We're all good, aren't we? I thought it was clear Byakuya did it.
No, I'm with Makoto. If there's any doubt whatsoever, we need to explore every possibility.
True.
Because if we're wrong, we all die here.
That's true. Very well then. I'm with you too.
Damn straight. Count me in.
Do you not have a mind of your own?
Of course I do. What am I, an ant or something?
Anyway, let's discuss this all as a group one more time. We still have time to make our decision.
That's very true.
Our lives are all on the line.
Excellent. Then shall we resume our game of hide and seek?
Maybe Togami, but if Baika didn't do it, then who's the real killer? Who murdered Chihiro? There's one thing that we know about the killer. The killer was able to gain access to the real murder scene, which means the killer is a guy.
I got it!
Says the crime scene was the boys' locker room. You need a boys' handbook to get in. Since Leon's handbook is apparently broken, the killer would have to use their own. In other words, it had to have been a guy. Still not enough, we need to find some more clues. Maybe it was Hifumi. Ooh, tracksuit. It might have been.
Isn't there a single clue that might lead us to who did it?
Well, clues are one thing, but did nobody get a look at the killer?
I'm sure if someone saw the killer, they would have said something by now.
Perhaps someone saw the victim at some point. Even that might be enough for now.
Yeah. All we need right now is any kind of new info.
This maybe? No.
Shoot!
Isn't there a single clue?
A whole time
Did nobody
first?
get? I'm sure if someone saw the.
Perhaps
someone saw the victim at some.
Yeah.
It's over.
You want to know who saw the victim? The killer! And only the killer! And it's not like
they're just gonna game over, man.
Yeah! No! Not game over!
Isn't there a single clue? Clue? Did nobody get? I'm sure if someone saw the. Perhaps someone saw the victim at.
Yeah.
It's over. It's all. You want to know who saw the victim? The killer! And only.
No, it's wrong.
That. Yeah, there we go. Objection!
I believe someone else did see the victim before he was murdered. What do you think?
Now that you mention it, yes, I did see him.
My theory has been shattered too bad in pieces.
Oh, but I suppose only Makoto knows about this. The rest of you had no idea, did you? That is why you're all making such ugly noises.
Whatever! Just hurry up and tell us!
It was last night, right before nighttime. I saw Chihiro in the dormitory warehouse. I saw him stuffing a track jacket into a duffel bag. And then, I assume, he headed off to exercise.
A track jacket and a duffel bag? But we didn't find anything like that at the murder scene.
We didn't find anything like that.
it seems likely that the culprit destroyed them to get rid of any evidence.
Yeah, we don't know.
And that is when he said something that struck me as rather odd.
I'll be going, I'm kind of in a hurry.
Chihiro told me he was in a hurry. But why would he be in a hurry? Only if someone were waiting for him, I should think.
So, Mr. Fujisaki was on his way to meet with someone, and then they were going to work out together?
But Hina and I had invited him to exercise with us plenty of times, and he always declined.
Probably because he was afraid you'd find out the secret he was hiding, right?
Track jacket.
Which means that conversely, he must have trusted whoever he was meeting with very much. Enough so that he was willing to risk his secret being revealed.
What a marvelous friendship!
The point is, whoever he met up with is the culprit,
Oh,
right?
it had to be,
So we just gotta figure out who it was.
her? Because that's
If no
a
one
track
will know,
jacket.
I can't even guess.
No. You already have what you need to make the connection.
Huh?
You know who the killer is.
Maybe?
Seriously?
It had to be...
Who is it? Who's the
Oh,
killer?
because the killer's a dude. Yeah. because
Think back to the
killer's a
track
dude
jacket and
now.
duffel bag the killer disposed of. Focus on the details of these items, and it should become obvious who was waiting for him.
Are you sure about that? You really think we can figure out who did it based on 2 pieces of evidence that we don't have?
Why? You want to track down some fingerprints or something?
Even if we had the equipment for that, we wouldn't know how to use it.
Could have been...
As was noted,
Yeah,
the evidence
could've
is
been talked
already
of.
gone. There's nothing to get fingerprints from.
Maybe, but we can make certain inferences if we just take the time to talk it out.
Easy for you to say. But fine. Celeste, did you notice anything special about the bag or jacket?
The bag was just a normal duffel bag from the warehouse. All the bags in there are the same, so I can't imagine what would make that one special.
True.
Well, if I remember right, there was a decent variety of tracksuits to choose from. Do you think there might be some connection between the culprit and Chihiro's jacket?
Perhaps. Let's explore that and talk a bit more about the jacket he took.
Oh, come on. Does Shihiro track jacket really hold some clue about the killer? Somehow, it's really hard to believe. Celeste's account, didn't we already use that though?
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. Because exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit.
Can we just shoot him already?
I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figure it?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
No. She's right. What he just said now is really odd. How did he know something like what? What did
First
I
of all,
miss?
we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next
my
we
brain's
have to
farting.
ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit.
I don't know.
Because exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit, personally. I got it from the warehouse.
Did any of that really help us?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him, right?
I don't know this one.
First of all, we know at Chihiro he was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask,
take that.
why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
No, okay. It's not. The hell are you talking about? Just shut up, you know. One time must be a contradict. I don't.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed.
Aiden, help.
He was on his way to go exercise.
I don't.
So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him?
Give me a hint, Aiden. I need
My
a hint.
tracksuit is black.
Help me, please.
I
need help.
I don't even have a tracksuit. Because exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit, personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
It...
No way. Not a chance.
What, Aiden?
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
It's been a while. Oh, God. You don't know? Oh, my God. She's right.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise.
I don't know this one. There's nothing that helps me.
So next we have to ask,
why did he choose this?
What do you mean, this?
I got it! It matched
But
the
what
one
am
the
I
culprit was
supposed
wearing.
to...
So, what the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit as him? My tracksuit is black.
I don't, because exercising.
I have a white track.
I got it from the warehouse.
Did any of that really help us get?
No way. Not a chance.
You heard him, right? What he just said without even realizing it?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed.
Blue tracks.
He was on his way to go
So next bit, why did he choose?
What do you mean, this?
I got it!
It matched the one that...
So, the killer was wearing my tracksuit.
I don't even because exercising.
I have a white tracksuit personally.
No. Yes, I see what you're trying to say. Is really not. I don't.
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask...
Genuinely
why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because it matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is, the killer
I'm
was
assuming
wearing the
I've
same
used
blue
the copy
tracksuit
piece,
as
but
him?
I only have 4 more bloody
My
lives.
tracksuit is black.
I don't even have a tracksuit. 'Cause exercising sucks.
I have a white tracksuit personally. I got it from the warehouse, if you must know.
Did any of that really help us get any closer to figuring out who the culprit is?
No way. Not a chance.
None of the tracksuits match.
You heard him, right? What he just said without
No,
even
I
realizing
didn't.
it?
No, I didn't. Yes, please. No, I don't. I didn't hear what he said actually. Kyoko, would you like to enlighten me, please? Please enlighten me. I need to be enlightened. I don't want to have to bloody start this whole thing over. What he said now is really odd. That he got it from... the... warehouse? Well, I don't have a shiny shekel. I ran out of all shiny. I ran out of shiny shekels. Yeah. Watch it. Cool said to shoot. I mean, I could just unmod you. If you really think about it. Don't need to use copy, okay. That... So that means... I'll just hire you, SJ. Obviously. So...
First of all, we know where Chihiro was headed. He was on his way to go exercise. So next we have to ask, why did he choose the specific tracksuit that he did?
What do you mean, the specific tracksuit?
I got it! He picked that tracksuit because...
Oh, we're holding on.
It matched the one the culprit was wearing.
So, what you're saying is the killer was wearing the same blue tracksuit?
How is that?
No, that's wrong.
Match at all?
Hold on a second, Mondo. What did you just say?
Huh?
How did that?
What'd I say?
When Celeste testified a few minutes ago, she said...
Oh, okay. I get it now.
She never said anything about the jacket's color.
Oh, okay.
So why did you say Chihiro's blue tracksuit?
What are you? You just...
Hey, Celeste.
Yeah, fuck
what
you,
color
Mondo.
was Chihiro's tracksuit?
As a matter of fact, it was blue.
And before we began the trial, did you tell anyone that?
The only one I told about any of this was
Okay,
you.
that makes sense now.
Then, Mondo, how did you know what color Chihiro's tracksuit was?
Because I just...
I'm sure he saw the clothes at some point in the investigation.
No, that can't be it. The bag and clothes were surely disposed of by the time we began our investigation.
Then the only reason he could have known what color the tracksuit was is if he saw Cherry with it before he died! That's the only possibility!
I think we need to take the scissors away from her.
Are you talking about Chihiro?
So, how about it? Did you see the tracksuit or didn't you?
Just by chance. I just happened to see it last night. He walked past me, and he was carrying the tracksuit in his hands.
No, that can't be it either. According to Celeste's testimony,
She stuffed the entire jacket into her bag in a hurry. It was almost like she was trying to hide it. And just like that, she was gone.
when Celeste noticed it, Chihiro made a point of making sure the jacket was completely in the bag. If you just ran into him briefly, you couldn't possibly have seen what color the tracksuit was.
It would appear you've dug your own grave.
Perhaps. But you handed him the shovel, didn't you? That's why you said what you did.
Save
Focus
these
on the
scissors.
tracksuit and it'll be obvious who he met with? What a bunch of nonsense.
Whoops.
Ah, now I understand. It was all one big bluff, wasn't it? Your true intention was to draw a slip of the tongue from the culprit. That's why you said you knew who did it, to put them on edge.
That's right. However, Mondo was my target all along. I had my suspicions about him from the very beginning.
But why?
I can see
What
that.
made you so suspicious?
That's a good question.
Because I hate it! That one.
There was a
No.
certain turning point that tipped me off. Maybe you didn't notice it, Mondo, but you tend to refer to men and women differently. You only call guys dude. For girls, it's chick. And after he was killed, you happened to refer to him as dude. Once I picked up on that, it occurred to me that Mondo knew something we didn't.
Notice such a tiny detail?
Are you a witch? She's a witch! You're positively frightful!
No, I'm not the frightful one. Not nearly as frightful as someone capable of murdering a friend.
Mondo, was it really you?
Yeah,
Did you
fuck you,
really
Mondo.
kill Chihiro?
I didn't kill anyone! You've been all over me, judging everything I say, putting words in my mouth. What gives you the right to treat me like a goddamn criminal?
I don't know what his
He would
accusation
never
is
do
gonna be.
something like that. This is a false accusation.
Shut the
It's
fuck
true.
up, Taka.
My reasoning on that is pretty shaky.
That was fast.
Well, this does present us with a problem.
It seems we are all out of leads.
My time has
Oh my
nearly
god,
come.
Hifumi!
That's what my little ghost friend is telling me.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Hifumi, weren't you telling me you'd found some evidence?
Really? What kind of evidence?
Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here calmly, it might not be all that relevant.
Him. I'm going to become the Blacken and willingly get caught, just so I know Hifumi's fucking dead.
Jeez, does your confidence just get up and walk away? It's fine, man. Just tell us.
If you really insist, then... Here it is.
What do you have there?
It happens to be an e-handbook. I found it laying on the ground, so I scooped it up.
Finally down. Unless we want to... Mondo?
Shoot!
Oh, the hero.
I got it! We know Chihiro's handbook was missing from the scene of the crime, right?
For a fact.
For a fact indeed. I was totally sure I'd found it.
Then it must hold some clue about the culprit, right?
Well, that's what I was hoping. But it's busted. It won't even turn on.
I imagine the culprit broke it to get rid of any evidence after the murder.
That's odd. I didn't think the handbooks were quite so fragile.
You're right. They're not. They're totally waterproof and shock resistant. It would take an awful lot to break one.
And yet, this one does appear to be broken, as is Leon's, sitting useless in the main hall. For all your confidence, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Yeah, that is a remarkably high failure rate.
Do you think there might be some kind of mystery in there somewhere?
Maybe it just turns off. No, I was gonna say maybe they get turned off after they die, but Sakura's and
How precisely did the handbooks get broken?
Handbook break or one possible.
I got it!
Us weak point.
You already told us before that the handbook has one weak point, didn't you?
Yeah! You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, maybe I let that slip, but I never told anyone what the weak point actually was.
But if the handbook is supposed to never break, and two of them broke in quick succession, then
obviously I know where it
Then we
is.
can only assume that someone's figured out its weakness. You know what the weakness is, right, Monokuma? So, what is it?
You're asking me?
Yes, Monokuma, you're now on the
I
stand.
think it's a necessary piece of information if you want this to be a fair trial.
But if I tell you, and someone else decides to copy it, that would be very not good.
Just tell us already! Why would we want to break our own handbooks?
Oh well, I have a weakness for pushy demands. But you're sure you won't follow their example? Then allow me to make a special announcement. The weak point of my cutting-edge e-handbook is... when it's exposed to high temperatures for too long, it will suffer a meltdown and totally break! I flippin' knew it!
You knew it?
Yeah, because I found the handbook laying on the floor of the sauna.
The temperature in the sauna can reach over 200 degrees. Strange how you don't get burnt, huh? It's because as your sweat evaporates, it creates a cooling layer of air around your skin.
I didn't realize we were going to get a science
If the
lesson.
hot air of the sauna were somehow pushed directly onto your skin, you'd definitely get fried. That layer of air would get blown away. That's why you may feel a burning when you move around. So when you're in a sauna, make sure to keep nice and still.
Interesting. I learned one new fact today.
That is a mere trifling speck of knowledge.
Anyway, if you found the victim's handbook in the sauna, then the killer must have been purposely trying to raise its temperature in order to break it.
Meaning the culprit somehow knew its weakness.
But how'd they find out? Monokuma said he didn't tell anyone, right?
Indeed. Quite the mystery.
What if they found out by accident?
What do you mean by accident?
Someone used Leon's as a test
What if
subject?
the killer took their own handbook into the sauna, not knowing its weakness, and it broke? They'd realize it was broken, of course, and it wouldn't be hard to figure out why. And once they had Chihiro's handbook, they knew they had an easy way to dispose of it.
I won't say it's not possible, but who would have done something like that? I don't know of anyone who took their handbook into the sauna.
I might know someone who did.
Whoa! Seriously?
I think the one who may have taken their handbook.
Leon? Oh.
Here's my answer. Mondo, your handbook got broken in the sauna, didn't it?
What?
Why? Why do you keep accusing him?
Mondo and Taka had an endurance contest in the sauna not too long ago, remember?
Yeah.
And for the contest, Mondo just so happened to keep his school uniform on. But little did he realize, he'd also left his handbook in one of his uniform pockets. And when it was all over, Mondo discovered that taking your handbook into the sauna could easily destroy it.
No, wait, hold on. You've got it all wrong. He would never kill.
He wouldn't fit in a roasting device. God damn.
I don't accept this. Show me the proof. The actual solid proof.
I mean, I don't want to believe it either, but I found something that proves it without a shadow of doubt. Oh, God.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo, you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo's handbook is actually broken, then that proves that what Makoto said is right.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
See? Look! Makoto was wrong after all! Mondo wouldn't hurt a fly!
How about that? I'm sure Mondo's handbook works doing the Sonic Showdown if I can just prove that.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct, then Mondo,
maybe
you broke your own handbook.
In other words, if Mondo, then that proves that...
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
No? What are you talking about? Shut up, you little bit. No, hers is broken.
Let's test Makoto's assertion. If what he says is correct,
you broke your own. In other words, if then that proves.
Well, my goddamn handbook works just fine!
No, it's wrong!
God damn it, you're fucking on a roll.
Mondo, the handbook you have right now, is it really yours?
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
The broken handbook that was in the main hall, isn't that one actually yours?
What the heck are you talking about?
What I mean is, I think Mondo swapped his handbook out for one that actually works. I think he took Leon's handbook and replaced it with his own. After all, Monokuma said himself that Leon's handbook never should have broken.
That's right! The punishment it suffered wasn't nearly enough to destroy it.
So then, The broken handbook in the main hall is actually Mondo's, which would mean that the handbook Mondo has right now is actually Leon's, yes?
But doesn't that violate the school regulation that says loaning out your handbook is prohibited?
Well, here's how I look at it. There is a rule about loaning your handbook to another student, but if they're dead, they're not a student. It's kind of a gray area, I admit. But no worries. If anything, it just makes things more interesting. As such, I decree that exchanging handbooks with a corpse is not a violation of the rules.
Well, Mondo, if I'm wrong about this, you're welcome to say so. I'm happy to admit I made a mistake, but...
Son of a bitch! What's wrong, bro? Come on! Tell him he's wrong! You are wrong! You have to be wrong! Everything you just said is wrong! You made it all up!
that, buddy?
Okay, then why don't we look back on this case one more time, from the beginning?
Well, obviously, Togami's
that way,
not the one.
everything will become clear, and we'll all see if I was right or wrong.
Oh, God. Okay. Let's kind of, I guess, work at this backwards. I'm more this way. Okay. This had to go there. This goes there. Okay, let's go back a little ways. What is that? Okay. The body. That. Scene swapped. What's that? Can't tell what that says right there. Here's... No. That has to go there. This is the girls' room. That there, maybe? I don't know what that is. Nor do I see how that's relevant. Actually, no, I know how this is relevant. This would have to be over here. let's come back this way. Okay. Maybe actually. Where does this go? Here, maybe? No, this has to. No, that goes here. That has to go there. Poster getting taken down. I already have. Where does the poster get picked up? This has to go there. Maybe. Or not. There's that as well. I don't think either of these are relevant right now. We're gonna head off. I'm not missing much. Yep, have a good one, mate. Yeah, this one is here. Has to. Have a good one. This goes there. Goes here then. No, maybe that's there. This is here.
The killer is you! First, let's take a look back to before the incident.
The mugs, let's throw a party. Yeah.
Last night, Celeste saw Chihiro in the warehouse, correct? At the time, she was apparently stuffing something into a duffel bag. That something was a blue tracksuit. You can confirm this, right, Celeste?
Yep.
With bag in hand, Chihiro headed out, even though it was officially nighttime.
The killer is pointing at Claire, oh my god.
She made her way to the locker room, specifically the boys' locker room. But how could the victim, who is apparently a girl, access the boys' locker room?
And lay out my reasoning right, I need to rearrange the events. Oh god. Was it in...
The killer is you!
Chihiro walked in. Is that correct?
With bag in hand, she made her way to the locker room. But how could the victim...
Okay.
Simple. Because she was really a he. Which is why he was able to use his own e-handbook to gain entrance to the boys' locker room.
That's
once inside, he met with someone there. And the person he met was the one who killed him.
Yep. Got that
It
correct.
seems likely that the killer grabbed the nearby dumbbell, approached the unsuspecting Chihiro,
Bam!
and attacked him.
That was correct.
And that's where the bloodstains on the poster and carpeting in the boys' locker room came
You know,
from.
if you know, bloodstain looks a little bit, if you ask me. Dead.
It was likely in the heat of the moment. The body was arranged, but the murder itself felt unplanned.
True.
Which is
that
why
was
the
correct.
killer hurried to try and hide the act. First, pulling up the bloodstained carpet. Then, removing the bloody poster.
No, I didn't lay out my reasoning right. Oh, okay. I'm like almost dead doing this.
Here's exactly what happened. Which is Ben.
No? Oh, I'm like dead. Okay. What then? So that means that there's something wrong later. Oh, okay. That's... I don't know what to put here. Well, the other person. That's how he died. Makes sense that now that this door is here. Why would the... Because all this has to be correct. So I've really wouldn't make sense if this was the poster. I'm gonna try the doorknob.
Exactly what happened.
I know that's correct.
But this alone doesn't prove that the killer was necessarily a girl. After all, Sayaka and Junko's handbooks had been placed in the main hall. Using one of those, a boy could get into the girls' locker room without much problem.
No.
I refuse to give up yet!
Then something else. What? I know. Okay, so this was you. This was you. This was that. Shit, I forget. Oh shit, what was this one? Oh no, that's not that one. That's this one. This is that one. I go fill in bloodlust and whatnot. Bloodlust. This is over here. This is right here. Is it maybe
Here's
the
exactly
poster?
what happened.
I have more time to guess now, at the very least, so... Wish there was a faster way to skip through this.
With... She but... What? It's... That one's correct. Dead body. That one's correct.
That one's correct. I don't know what this next one is, though.
After all,
I guess it would make sense. It is the poster, okay.
And that's it. With the carpet and the poster they brought with them, they got to work.
The punishment for fucking up.
They changed the layout of the boys' and girls' locker room in what you might call a crime scene switch.
Whoa! The crime scene switch.
That could have been the end of things, but no. Byakuya discovered the body and decided to intervene in the situation, making things even more complicated.
Everything else
So,
should now be
after
correct.
stumbling on the crime scene, he went and grabbed the extension cord from the library, and then he got to work. He used the cord to string up Chihiro's lifeless body. Then, using the victim's own blood, he left a grisly message there at the scene of the crime. He wanted to create the illusion that Genocide Jack was responsible for the slaughter.
Makes sense. And the sauna.
And around the same time that Byakuya was putting together this facade, the killer, having already disposed of Chihiro's bag and other belongings, arrived at the sauna. There, they planned to destroy the last piece of evidence, Chihiro's handbook.
Chihiro's handbook.
And just as the killer expected, the steamy sauna was enough to ruin the electronic gadget.
You know, you would think, like...
Somehow, the
these
killer
are, like,
knew that the
high-end
handbook couldn't stand up to the
handbooks.
heat of the sauna.
You would think that it was, like, it's able to withstand a pretty decent amount of heat, but apparently
And the
not.
reason they knew that is because the sauna had already wrecked their own handbook.
Yes, blue blonde bitch should also be killed for... yeah.
And that's how it all played out.
But I mean, I guess he's not... He isn't considered the blackened one. Because he didn't actually do the killing, so...
Isn't that right, Mondo Arata?
But I do agree with you.
Wait. No. This can't be right.
Yeah, your bro killed someone.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Where's your evidence? You need evidence. You need proof. Without any proof,
You need to shut the
you
fuck up.
can't pin any of this on him.
Evidence that Mondo is the killer that already revealed itself earlier in the trial. If I can so much show where Mondo's handbook is right now. Once I do that, everything will become clear. A new element. Oh, another new element. Let's talk a little bit about Fever Time and Nega Time. During a bullet battle, if you press the right bumper, Fever Time will activate, and the tempo will be forced to its max. At this point, even if you push the buttons at random, you won't miss. So you can push you can push A button however you want to destroy your opponent's verbal assault. But they only last until your focus gauge runs out, so make the best possible use of your time. Of course, I want to be fair, if only you got access to social time, right? So I've also prepared something called Nega Time that your opponent can use. If the opponent activates Nega Time during the bullet time battle, your tempo marker will disappear, making it quite a bit tougher to hit the buttons in the rhythm. If you were to activate Fever Time at this point, no, never mind. I'm sure nothing would happen. I don't know what I was worried about. Oh god. Get him, both of them royal asshole, no complaints. Well then, good luck and have fun. Last part. I get to play a rhythm game now.
Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. I won't listen. I refuse to vote. Show me some evidence. You're wrong. I won't listen. I refute you. False. Show me some evidence. Show me some evidence.
Get the fuck out of here! And he's had a stroke. He has died. Guitar Hero
Thinking
skills.
so far is right. Mondo must have replaced his broken handbook with Leon's. In which case, we can just check each of our handbooks right now. Once we do that, we'll...
We don't gotta do that.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just
did
admitting it now?
I killed him.
Wow. Damn. A, C, B. Final result in A, not bad. I wonder what his death scene is gonna be. Ooh, money.
Bro, what are you saying?
I got no choice, man. After hearing all that, I gotta just... give up. Go ahead, Monokuma. Get it over with. Ask for the goddamn
Stop
verdict.
acting noble for your not for noble. You're not helping your case. You're getting into sympathy. Yeah.
Wait! Hold on!
No waiting! No holding on! Time for the moment we've all been waiting for! Grab your lever and give it a yank! Who will you elect as the Blackened this time around?
I wonder what his death scene's gonna be.
Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
It's gonna be a B! Monokuma vote. Guilty! Woo!
What?
Uh-oh. This time looks like you got it right again! Yes, it is so. The Blackened that killed Shihiro Fukusaki was Mondo Wada!
Unbelievable.
In case you're wondering, the vote was not unanimous. Kiyotaka chose the wrong answer. You're treading very close to the danger zone, Mr. Ishimaru. You need to be more careful. I refuse to believe it. There's no way. No way he would kill anyone.
What is this?
Why are you apologizing? Whoa. Why did you do it?
Now then.
Well, it looks like Mondo's taken a vow of silence, so allow me to explain on his behalf. The story of the murder this time is the sad story of two men. Oh, but for anyone who really doesn't want to hear it, you can hit the B button to fast forward the text. Anyway, there was once a young boy, and his name was Shihiro Fukusaki. He had an extreme inferiority complex regarding his own lack of strength. You're so weak, even though you're a boy. He heard things like that as long as he could remember. And couldn't even overcome his weakness. Are they in a relationship? Okay, so earlier on, okay, it was really weird. So last time, those two were fighting, and in the end, instead of it's like your enemy is your best friend type deal. So they became best friends. Or bros, and then they were all buddy. So, on the contrary, he tried to hide and buried himself further and further into that weakness. Yeah. We will kill you, you royal fucking poser, if you don't shut the hell up. Oh my god. To take on a fragile form of a petite young girl. He had chosen that as his way out. Now nobody will be able to say anything, even though you're a boy. But no matter how tightly he wrapped himself up in that shell, the inferiority complex had already taken root deep inside of him and was not so easily weeded out. As it turns out, the shell was completely empty. The complex didn't disappear. Instead, it only grew stronger and stronger. I'm weak.
Weak.
Yeah, what he said. Once the killing game had begun here at the school, he had no choice but to accept this fact. After all, the world is survival of the fittest. If you're not strong, you don't survive. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets, which of course included Chihiro's embarrassing secret, which I was more than willing to divulge. Even though he dresses like a girl, Chihiro is actually a boy.
Hey,
Frenemies from Starflower, oh my god. I skipped that one, whoops. If that was revealed, it would be the end. The hardened shell would crack, the armor would fall away. Without a doubt, those around him would torture him more than ever before. Everyone figured being thrust into such a dilemma must have sent him spiraling into despair. And yet...
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I really don't want to talk about it right now. But I also don't want to leave things the way they are, so maybe I can talk about it later. After I try my best to become stronger, then I can tell everyone. Annoyingly, he used the threat of discovery to motivate himself to become stronger.
That's right. I want to
Now's my
change.
chance. I'm going to get stronger and accept who I am. Strong enough that when someone says, even though you're a boy, I'll be okay. I'll get better. It'll get better. With that thought at the front of his mind, he resolved to take immediate action. And so, that day, he made the commitment to begin exercising. He was prepared to retrain his mind and body, but sadly, that would be the first and only chance he would get at it.
Hey,
When he decided to start exercising, he thought it would be good to ask for someone's help. But he wanted to tell that person his secret first, and then ask them to help him from there. The person he went to...
right.
It was me. Yep, it sure was! The Biker King fellow that had been painfully clear about how important his manly promises were. So Chihiro probably figured that even if he confided in Mondo, his honor would make him keep the secret. Plus, Mr. Macho Mondo was the very symbol of a strong man that Chihiro had always aspired to. Maybe talking to Mondo about it will help me give some courage. And so, he went and asked Mondo to help him become stronger. That was his aspiration. And he thought that only with Mondo's support would he ever be able to come close to that. So then, that must be why Mondo did what he did. To keep the promise he'd made to Chihiro. Huh? What did he do? I mean, that's when Mondo carried Chihiro from the boys' locker room into the girls' locker room? Yes, that's exactly what I mean. Wasn't that to cover up what he done? It could have been part of it, but I don't think it was the main reason. The real purpose was to keep the promise between men he made with Chihiro. Fuck gender roles, man, you finna like you are. But how does moving the body keep a secret? Because if everyone knew he'd been killed in the boys' locker room, then everyone would have been arguing about how she got into the boys' locker room, right? Once that started up, at least a few of us would have immediately begun to suspect his identity. So, he tried to protect Chihiro's secret by putting him in the girls' locker room and stealing his handbook. See? Then, Mondo did all that to keep the promise he had made to Chihiro, who he also killed. Why would he do that? The more I hear you talk, the more I don't understand. I mean, you guys trusted each other, right? So why? Why did you? Because no matter what, I didn't want anyone to know. So that's what triggered it after all. Possibility of having your embarrassing memories and secrets exposed.
What is this?
That's impossible. Nothing could have been that bad. Something he didn't want anyone to know? Even if killing someone.
Don't
it's
make
impossible.
me repeat myself.
How many times must I repeat myself? To judge others by your own standard is the height of folly. Even if you can't comprehend it, he obviously can. That's all there is to it. Well, while we're on the subject, why don't I tell you? The embarrassing memory, that secret he didn't want anyone to know. You know what Mondo did? He killed his own bird. Oh! Oh my god. Mondo, the ultimate biker gang leader, made all the hoodlums and riffraff across the country tremble. But the only reason he had the chance to join a gang in the first place was because of a certain someone. Mondo's older brother's name was Daya Owada. Mondo had nothing but respect for him. It was because of Daya that Mondo ever got on a motorcycle. Mondo's brother was his only family growing up. He was the only one Mondo could trust or respect. He wanted to measure up to his big brother, so he imitated him in everything he did. Mondo was the epitome of the starry-eyed kid brother. Meanwhile, the charismatic older brother had put together a local motorcycle gang. Before anyone knew it, had grown into the biggest biker gang in the country. Daya, the older brother, #1 in the gang, and his #2, his younger brother, Mondo. In the beginning, everything was peaches and gravy, but when Mondo started to think about how he would have to take over the gang from his brother someday, his brother's greatness, his reputation, began to gnaw on Mondo's very soul. The kid's gonna take over for Daya, huh? Daya created the gang with his bare hands. Mondo's just along for the ride. Can someone like that really be our leader? All that'll do is make the gang look bad. Almost every day, Mondo heard the gossip and whispers of the other members of the gang, which is why
I
gotta get stronger than Daya. Just one time. No matter what, I gotta win. I don't care what it takes. I gotta come out on top. And on the night of his amazing brother's retirement ceremony, Mondo challenged him to a street race. But during the race, tragedy struck. The kid brother pushed ahead, with reckless abandon, eager for victory, and dashed into oncoming traffic. Suddenly. Yeah, I know. Laying in his kid's brother's arms, the older brother delivered his final words. My bad, kid. I fucked up. Sorry. Of course, he knew it was his brother's fault, but Daya never blamed him for what happened. Hey, kid. The rest is up to you. No matter what, we gotta keep the gang together. Because it's the team. You and me put together. It's a promise between men. He decided to hide the truth of what happened from everyone else in the gang. So yeah, he didn't kill his brother. His brother died because of him now. In order to keep the gang together, keep the promise to his brother, he could never admit to anyone that it was his own weakness that had caused the accident. And as a result, the team was made even stronger under the banner of the kid who bested his big brother. Daya was going to lose to his kid brother, so he got stupid and got himself killed. That became the explanation for what happened. Mondo's lie became the truth. He wanted to lead the team so bad, he was willing to tell all kinds of lies about his brother. I'm strong. Strong. Yet. As soon as our killing game began, he realized, no matter how tough he pretended to be, he was just another weakling that could die in an instant. And then the lovely and hateful Monokuma announced the revealing of the embarrassing secrets. At that point, it was clear I would have no problem shedding light on his secret. Mondo killed his older brother. No matter what, I couldn't let the other gang members find out. If that happened, everything would have been ruined. Little white lie is fine if that misses to keep the gang together. Yeah, exactly. Everything me and my brother had worked to create would have been destroyed. His death, all the guilt I've been carrying around, it would have all been for nothing. So that's why. Mondo. After I saw what Monokuma had on me, my head filled up with that kind of fuzzy uneasiness and just started swirling. I never felt anything like it before. I didn't know what to do about it. I wasn't sure what to think or say, but after a while, that fuzzy uneasiness turned itself into a rock-hard lump of anxiety way down in my stomach. It was right around then that Shihiro asked me to start working out with him. And right then, he told me a secret. Seriously? Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry I lied to you. But why? Why now? Why are you telling me this all of a sudden? Doesn't mean you've kept that secret all this time, right? If anyone found out, you would fall apart because you're not going to be there, yeah?
I want to change.
Yeah. I wrap myself in lies. I'm weak. I want to destroy that version of me forever. His words were like a knife in my gut. I felt like he was exposing the lie I'd been living myself. I have to change, but I don't want to be weak anymore. You're so strong, it can't hurt you, right? Whatever secret Monokuma might tell us.
You piece of...
So what? You're saying I should just say it? You're saying if I really am, I should just be able to tell everyone my secret? Huh? I was jealous. I was jealous of Chihiro's strength. He had the strength to face his own weakness, to try and overcome it. It was the kind of strength I've never had. So I was jealous of him, and that jealousy broke me. Are you making fun of me? I'm strong. Are you fucking with me right now? No, I'm not making fun of you. You really are strong, Mondo. I felt like I could hear something starting to creak. Something inside my head. What did he want me to do? What was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to do? Supposed to just sit back, let my secret get revealed, and ruin everything?
What's wrong?
Damn you!
Why do you have to tell? Sheesh. And look, if Fembo was able to beat a Macho Man, yeah. Why did you have to tell me all that? Why are you trying? Are you trying to rub my failure in my face?
I just wanted to.
No. I just really admired you.
Yeah,
I admire your
that's
strength.
right.
That's right. I am strong. Strong. I'm strong. Strong.
You son of a bitch!
Strong in the diet. I don't remember anything after that. When I woke up again, he was laying at my feet, covered in blood. I had the dumbbell in my hand, and I was just staring at him, down on the ground. Hey!
I killed him. I killed Chihiro. Even after all this time, I'm still just as weak as I've always been. And thanks to that, I did something I can never take back.
Mondo. He was normally so aggressive, so angry. He hid that weak side away from everyone. That was his secret. A weakness like that lived in a heart like his, and it turned him cold-blooded. God damn it! Look at him. You see? You're all just like him. For a secret from the past, for a memory. For that, he killed another living human being in cold blood. He couldn't cut free from his regrets from the outside world. He doesn't know what the true strength is. Do you see hope anywhere in there? Because I sure don't. You bastard! Just shut up, you son of a bitch. Go ahead, say that again. I dare you. Okay? Say it as many times as I want. Is what I want to say, but unfortunately I can't do that right now because the time for punishment is fast approaching. Punishment? I mean, execution.
Well
Here
now,
we go,
well now, well
boys.
now, well now.
That's what I promised you, right? The black and that deserves to be
Ridiculous.
punished.
Now then,
Hold on.
I've prepared a very special punishment.
I've prepared a very special punishment for Mondo Iwata, the ultimate fighter. Oh,
Let's
wait.
give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
I said, wait!
Sorry, man. I couldn't keep the promise we made. From one man to another.
This one's gonna be brutal. I think I know what this one is, actually. Bonk! Game over. Mondo has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. I think I've spoiled this one to myself. I think I know what it is. Or maybe not. Maybe that's like a different game. What the? Cage of Death. Uh-oh. Does Monokuma have a license? Are they gonna like spin him to death? What the? Spin. And he's gone. Mondo butter. Spin cycle no rinse, yeah. Laugh at death and your soul will forever be at peace. It can't be. My brother. Another murder and another execution. I want to feel again. Everyone's lives are taken so lightly here. I feel like I might be going mad. Maybe I'll just let it happen. He's having a mental breakdown. Definitely having a mental breakdown. As Taka's sad screams invaded our skulls, we were each forced to realize once again. Not hear the very fucking rose. But he, of course, had to. What a disappointment. This is the end of the game.
What is this?
Blondish, you're completely insane. You know that. A game? One of our friends is dead. Do you realize that? Of course I do. Because the game is life or death. I don't have anything to say to you. I don't have a response except that. I just don't understand why. Why did you go out of your way to disguise Mondo's crime? Why? Isn't it obvious? Because it made things more interesting. His voice was calm, emotionless, like the voice of death is chilling me to the bone. Last night, when the murder took place, I was in the library as usual. So you ignored the nighttime rule, too. That rule never mattered to me. I don't
There is nothing to be done.
Well, I don't particularly care. Please continue. The night grew late, and I decided to return to my room, which is when I stumbled upon him. To spice up life, yeah. Spotted Mondo coming out of the girls' locker room. After he'd gone, I looked inside. Saw the corpse. What? You mean you actually witnessed the murder? He was such a fool. He didn't have the slightest idea that I'd seen him. So, you're saying that you knew who the culprit was from the very beginning? Indeed. But if that had been the end of it, how boring would that have been? I guess breaking rules by going to the library. Yep. I mean, what a waste of time to have the answer revealed right at the beginning. Which is why I decided to lend a little helping hand. I wasted like an hour and a half figuring out this. If you just said that Mondo did it from the beginning, we would have been out of here. I thought it would have livened things up. You did all that to liven things up. So after hearing about Genocide Jack from Toko, we decided to use that to create the fake murder scene. But damn, man, if we hadn't figured out who really done it, you would have been dead too, right? Well, obviously, I would have revealed the truth before it reached that point. Of course. Blonde bitch turned and looked me in the eye. I could feel his sharp eyes piercing into me. Thanks to a certain remarkable someone, it never did, and I was able to perform an interesting experiment.
Interesting.
Once I decide to become blackened, I now know who I'll have to watch out for.
Correct.
What? So that was your reason. Are you satisfied? Yes, we're done listening to your story.
Hey.
Move on. There's something I'd like to ask
What's
Monokuma.
this?
Oh, I'm up next? You'd like to perform these elaborate executions each time, correct? My question is, why? Boo-hoo, do you like them? Do you know, this punishment, this despair, is not just for you. All this punishment, all this despair is my gift to mankind itself. You're over-exaggerating. I'm not over-exaggerating. These punishments are meant to transform all hope to despair. What do you mean? Mean? Mean?
What the heck?
Mean. Good grief. I don't understand why you have to pick apart every little stupid thing. Whatever, doesn't matter. So, filthy piece of shit. Got to give a sadist a gift here and there. In the end, I'm going to stand alone as the victor, and then everything will be revealed to me.
How
the noble son of a noble family. Truly, you understand me? I think this is the start of a terrifying friendship. Shut up. I never stoop to the level of a childish criminal like you. Let me just say this. After I've achieved complete victory, you're up next.
In the name of my family.
In the name of the Togami family, for which victory is a foregone
You're getting all riled up!
Ooh, so cool. It's like you're the main character of a video game or something. No trash mob for you. I swear, whatever it takes, I will kill you. Woohoo! Temper. Sounds like someone just did that. While Akuma's laughter fueled across the courtroom and the curtains closed on the case of Shihiro and Mondo. But I knew that wasn't the end. The killing game would still continue, because the mastermind wouldn't let it end. For those of us who were still alive, our worst fears and despairs kept on multiplying. Hey, don't diss the children criminal of the world. How they get stuff done, yeah. It was the kind of despair that felt like a blind puppy in hell had more of a future than us. All of our courage, our effort, our friendship, it felt like it amounted to nothing at all. It was the worst kind of despair.
Well, anyway, like I was saying, this is a pretty good spot.
Talk for a moment.
Yeah, a really good spot. Anyway, isn't it amazing how that girl went and killed someone before things even had a chance to get boring? Once things really get moving, it'll be like a roller coaster. There won't be any stopping it. Fear and despair charge forward at a speed nothing can hope to match. But I must admit, I'm disappointed. I went to all the pain and effort of making you part of the group,
I'm puppies and how to have a more future. Literally, yep.
You do remember you were supposed to make the first move, right? Well, no biggie. Nothing we can do about it now. So just do your best to make things more exciting from now on, okay?
We're missing.
After all, that's what everyone wants to see.
There's one
as
thing
long
I'd like to
as
ask
you don't want to know my measurements, fire away.
Who is it? The 16th high school
student. My, you really took me by surprise
maybe
there. I know I said you could ask anything, but... Super denied, ultra denied, demonic denied.
Demonic denied.
See, that's my ace in the hole. And nobody'd be dumb enough to reveal that, right? No matter how close they were to their friends.
Uh-oh, Monokuma has something up his sleeve. That's not good. Chapter 2, Boy's Life of Despair. The end. Surviving students, 10. To be continued! You received the Crazy Diamond present. Okay. Yes, I would like to save. Right here. Oh, sniff. The hell? Oh,
I know I
it's
shouldn't cry, but I've had enough. I can't take it anymore. Getting out of here anytime soon, it's impossible. I can't let myself
Agreed.
think about how much I want to get out of here. If I keep thinking like that, I might decide to
murder someone. Donuts. I need to eat some donuts. That would cheer me up. Yep, donuts are the the solution to everything. Glazed donuts, twisty donuts, jelly donuts, cream-filled donuts, donut holes, malsadas. Oh god of donuts, I'm praying for a wonderful encounter. I'm sorry. Please forgive me for breaking the nighttime rule. But right now, for me, donuts are absolutely necessary. Oh god.
Huh?
The hell? What's that sound? Sounds like it's coming from the bathhouse.
But
I'm super scared, but is someone there? The hell? Chapter 3, a next generation legend. Stand tall, galactic hero. Daily life. That was interesting. The morning after the conclusion of the second class trial, everyone must meet up in the dining hall, just like always. And I expected it to start like any other day. That's what I expected, but today's count kind of sucks, huh? Toka and Bayaka still refuse to show up. And I haven't seen Miss Ashina anywhere. Asahina. She said her stomach was hurting, so she's taking it easy in her room for today. That is rather unusual for her. Only she is so full of energy. Which is exactly what makes me worry. So it's just the 7 of us then.
How about that?
It's time like this where we're going to the committee chairman needs to get this thing going with a bang.
Impossible.
Or not. Haka hasn't said a word since everything that happened yesterday. Don't kill the girl, oh thank god. Break time, please. I'm gonna be ending here soon, so it must be because of Mondo. As soon as the two of them become so close, when he finds out Mondo killed Shihiro, and then having to watch Mondo get punished, nothing he could do about it, can't even imagine what it must have done to him.
well,
So I mean, what's gonna happen now? We haven't found any way out, and we have no idea if help's ever gonna come.
it's like
Not what depressed you thinking about it. We simply have to make the best of things, do our best to get along with and live here together in peace. Forget about the outside world and accept this new life. That is the only hope we have now. What? To live here forever? Here we have every convenience. We have food, clothes, and every need is seen to. Why are you dissatisfied? In fact, let me ask you this: what is it about the outside world that you long for? Peace will never be an option. Exactly. Competition, discrimination, victimization, and violence. As society grows, so does the perseverance. In which case, in our current situation, not demon angel, pretty pudgy princess.
Here we go!
Neki, the drill shop owner, the bunny-eared Amazon cat girl dog boy, Robo Justice, the Galactic King, and what I mean is, there's no duty here. Oh my god. Mastermind puts such base desire to the advantage, bending to their will. Okay, well anyways, since Taka's life, like catatonic, as the oldest one here, I'm officially stepping up to take the lead. So, we're all gonna work together and spend the rest of the day searching.
I'm right?
Well, I mean, since the class trial is over and all, there should be a new place for us to investigate. Yeah, that's the ticket. Maybe we'll find some kind of clue this time. And once they're done eating, let's split up and begin looking around. Any problems with that, Celeste? There may well be a discovery waiting for us, which may further enrich our life here. No, the point is to look for clues. As we were starting to come together, she barged in.
You called for me, so I appeared. Genocide!
What? Ah, nobody called for you! What the? How come it's Genocide Jill and not Toko? God, this place is just amazing! Finally, a place I can just be my murdersome self. So I've decided to stop holding back and spread my wings. No more hiding in the cave with me! Plus, I have another battle to fight. The whole killer with a split personality. This is so overdone. I gotta
SOB!
I'll fight all day and all night to murder those totally slanderous cliches. But you are a killer with a split personality. If she weren't here, my chances of survival rate would go up at least 10%. Come on, you gotta back me up here. Even the biggest stars need a little bit. Yeah. Well, whatever else we can do today. First, we should eat. We can't do anything on an empty stomach. Right? Let's hurry up and eat so we can start our investigation. Ay. So we were forced to eat breakfast with a murderer, and after our much-needed but very annoying meal, we set to work looking around the school. All right, that's where we will be leaving it here. Seems like a decent enough place to leave it. So, save real quick. Title, yes. Alrighty, thank you everyone for watching tonight. Without further ado, well, not really without further ado, but I suppose until next time, farewell, and have a good one. Bye.